Biscuits.
This is Tyler Hansbrough, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, what's up? It's Friday, November 15th, 2024. Welcome into this live postcast edition of the Locked On Tar Heels podcast. Coming at you late on Friday night after Carolina dispatches American 107-55. I'm your host, Isaac Shaden. You're joining us at the place to get your Tar Heels content every single day. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for joining us for your first listen or watch right after the game. Special shout out to all the everydayers with us, all the Locked On Tar Heels Discord members, and all the Locked On Tar Heels insiders. Links to join those are in the show notes. Hop on in. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet and get $150 in bonus bets if that bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, gang, the first biscuits of the year. Big thanks to John Holbrook for making that one happen. Carolina nearly doubles up American 107-55. Not nearly doubles up, because what would that be? 110, right? What? Yeah, nearly doubles up. I can do math. I know how to make that happen. Anyway, tons to unpack from this game. We're going to get into it like we always do. I'll have several things to talk about. We'll do an ad break, several other things. Then we'll go check out your comments after that as well. Look, I got to start here because I've been feeling for this guy, and several things from our Four Corners preview checked out and happened in this game. The first was this. This had to be the game for Cade Tyson. And I feel like we just got to start with him because, oof, what a relief for this young man who just hasn't been able to really get cooking in the first two games. And here he goes. Checked in at 14:34 of this one. Had some good energy. Wasn't really doing a ton in the first half. He pump faked on a couple close defensive moments from American, but never pulled the trigger. And I'm like, homie, just pull the trigger. Let's go, Cade. Let's get after it. And North Carolina, as you probably are very well aware of, was 0 for in the first half from 3, 0 for 6. But you know who took the lid off that thing in the second half? It was Cade Tyson from the corner opposite Carolina's bench. And, oh, chef's kiss. Because when that thing gets going, it is sweet and it is pure. And you see that 40% three-point shot, and it's clear and obvious. And then he hit another. And then he hit another. But you know what was most important to me is that Cade kept shooting, even when he was missing. Finished 3 of 7 in total from deep in this game. Let me make sure I'm not lying about that. 3 of 7? Yes. And that's what I want to see from him. He is a Tar Heel to shoot. Yes, he does other things. He makes them from inside. He hustles and does that. But he's got to be hitting and drawing defense out so that even if he's not making them, that he is bringing attention to him. And that's exactly what it was. And I got to be honest, that took the lid off for the whole team because then other guys started hitting. And it was like in baseball when somebody gets a hit and then it's just like, it's like contagious and everybody's doing it. So I was so happy for Cade because we said if he doesn't do it in this game, maybe he gets some opportunities in Hawaii. But at that point, you're in and going to Maui and Alabama and all this other stuff, Georgia Tech for your first ACC game. And there's really not much opportunity for him to worm his way into the lineup at that point. So this was the game he needed. And I'm so happy for him. But beyond just making those threes and beyond continuing to take those threes, did you see the hustle from Cade Tyson? Getting on the floor multiple times, getting after it on defense when he could. He got, out athleted a time or two, and that's you're going to have that sometimes. But I just really, really liked his energy as well. He had a great entry pass to Ty Claude, who made a shot, got fouled. Just really encouraging stuff for Cade. So I'm so happy for him, and I'm sure you are as well. I get a lot of things wrong in life, as anybody would if you do what I do and you prognosticate and talk about sports literally every day of your life. So the few times in my life when I get something right, I'm going to be very happy about it. And one of those was I said, I think tonight is going to be a Jalen Washington breakout for this team. And oh boy, was it. Career high 18 points for JWash on a perfect 6 of 6 from the field and 6 of 7 from the free throw line to go with 3 rebounds and in 29 minutes. No, I'm sorry, a plus 29 in just 18 minutes of action. Didn't really need to play a ton in this game, which, by the way, nobody played 30 minutes. Elliott Cadeau played the most minutes in this game at 29. We'll talk about Cadeau in a little bit because good grief. But so happy for JWash to have this breakout. And you remember this offseason, one of the things we hypothesized about was whether JWash could maintain the same level of efficiency that he had done in his first 2 years as the volume went up for him. And at least for this game, perfect from the field, literally perfect from the field for JWash. And so that's encouraging. So far this season, he is shooting 58.3% from the field, and that's good. Still hasn't hit a 3 yet. That's a little like, okay. Whatever with that, but he'll get there. He'll make some. You love it. But for JWash, just great to see him have this breakout and get going there. All right, I said we'd get to Elliott Cadeau. Let's do that. This dude dominated the first half of this basketball game. He got to the bucket at will, was able to drive when he wanted to, got to the free throw line a ton. He had 11 points in the first 10 and a half minutes of the game. Finishes, listen to this, with 18 points, one shy of tying a career high, 6 of 9 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 5 of 9 from the free throw line. So regressed a little bit, but I think it was he hit 5 of his first 6 and then I think missed the next 3. But had 3 rebounds, and this is the 2 critical numbers on the back end of it. Cadeau, 8 assists and just 1 turnover for this game. Man, that's what Carolina needs him to be game in and game out. I don't care if the shots are falling or not. I don't care what else is happening. If he is facilitating and taking care of the ball at the same time, then Carolina is going to be in great shape. And that friends, is exactly what they've got to be able to do. But beyond that, the other number that was eye-popping to me was 4 steals for Elliott out of Carolina's 8 total. That's what you need. And it's great because he did all that in the first half. 15 of his 18 were in the first half. And in the second half, other guys stepped up when they needed to. And so that's encouraging that you can have multiple guys doing that. In fact, Carolina's points per possession took off in the second half. And so I was really, really encouraged by that. So Elliott, man, he just continues to have these great games. Now, let's talk about a couple things that were iffy. Carolina needs to start better. Yes, Elliott had a great first half. I thought Carolina's defense didn't have a sense of urgency out of the gate. The teams were basically trading shots, and American was hot. Let's be honest about it, just making a lot. I think that's kind of a combination of them being hot and Carolina not doing a ton. They shot in the first half 51.9% from the field, 42.9% from 3. But then the second half was when Carolina really turned it up defensively. You ready for this? As kind of almost disappointing, frustrating as the first half was, Carolina up 9 at the half. American was 5 of 34 from the field in the second half. That's 14.7%, and just 5.9% from the three-point line, 1 of 17. Their points per possession, you're aiming for 1 point per possession. They were 0.6. Ew, gross. So yes, frustrating first half, but my word, what a second half for the Tar Heels. Really, really encouraged by what they did. As you ready for the second half score of this game was 64-21. Virginia hasn't scored 64 points in the last decade combined. But I mean, so yes, while Carolina needs to start faster, that what a second half, you guys. I mean, and that's going to be, and I say, slow first half, Carolina still scored 43 points and they didn't make a 3. So really encouraging stuff there. And then the other kind of thing we need to look at and talk about is RJ Davis. Let me say this right out of the gate. I am not yet concerned. I know a lot of people are going to be, but if you know me, you know that I am a patient, I'm more often than not going to urge patience rather than rushing to rash conclusions. Cade Tyson can't do it. He can't perform at this level. Well, if you had waited another week, you would have seen, I mean, what a difference for Cade Tyson playing a minute and 3 seconds last week and looking out of place. And that's why this game, it's like, it just needed the confidence. You can get that against Americans so that when you go to Maui, you can show up and show out. And so same thing here. I'm going to, right out of the gate, before I say with RJ, I'm going to preach patience with it. But let's look at the numbers from RJ. 5 of 13 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. Same thing with Cade. I love that he's still shooting because RJ Davis needs to. They're going to go in. 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turns, and a steal in 27 minutes. So look, the shot is just not there for RJ right now. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. But what I kind of like about it, it's that same kind of thing when a player is out injured and everyone else has to step up and do stuff. Since RJ is only scoring 13 points in this game, then it's great because other guys are having to step in and fill roles. And here's what's crazy about it. North Carolina scored 107 points and nobody got to 20. There were enough because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different Tar Heels had 7 or more points. That's better. In my opinion, that's better for this team to spread out the offensive production, because then if I'm John Shire or whoever, that's just the first opposing coach's name I thought of, how am I going to figure out who I got to defend? Good luck to you when 9 different dudes from the opposition are dropping 7 points or more in this game. That's so good for the Tar Heels. All right, we got much more to get to, and we're going to do all that coming up here in just a second. Right after I tell you about our friends at Omaha Steaks. Nothing delivers comfort and joy quite like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. This year, skip the holiday hustle and bustle and save 50% off gourmet gifts side-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, you get a $30 reward card when you shop early and an extra $30 off with promo code COLLEGE. Man, they got 5 generations of experience. They consistently deliver the world's best steak experience. And the gifting experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to deliver the perfect gift with thoughtfully curated gift packages starting at $89.89. From legendary steaks to mouthwatering desserts and more, save 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra 30% off with promo code COLLEGE and a $30 reward card when you shop early. I'm legitimately thinking about doing this because my family's doing steak instead of turkey for Thanksgiving this year. This might be my way to go. So go check it all out at omahasteaks.com. Minimum purchase may apply. All right, here's where we're going to go. Going to pull up the box score for those of you watching in real time on YouTube. If you are listening back to this later, man, that's okay. You can pull up the box score and find it and check it all out there. Let's get back into several things we want to talk about. One of the other things I was watching for in this game was Jae'lyn Withers' consistency. And what was neat about it is that it wasn't eye-popping or wild. But consistency doesn't have to be. For Jae'lyn Withers in this game, he was solid. And that's good. It's almost like, I'm glad I didn't really have to think about Jae'lyn Withers and what he was doing, because he was just out there doing it. Only had to play 21 minutes, was plus 24 in that time. But listen to Jay Witt's stat line. 7 points on 2 of 3 shooting, 0 of 1 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 0 turnovers. See what I'm saying? It's not eye-popping. It's not crazy. It's not wild. But it's exactly what Carolina needs him to be. Just consistent over and over and over again. Sure, he wasn't quite to a double-double like he was in the first 2 games, but that's okay. Because if you can give me 7 and 7 and 4 assists and no turnovers, man, like that's always been the biggest beef for me with Jay Witt when it's like, when it's a bad Jay Witt day, it's because he's turning the ball over. A 4-0 assist to turnover ratio, I'm going to take that every single day of the week. So thank you, Jae'lyn Withers. Keep that. I just keep doing that. Doesn't have to be spectacular. Just got to be solid. And that's exactly what it was. Joke incoming. Don't take this seriously. What a letdown for Seth Trimble. Only 13 points in this game. Oh man, it would have been a career high if he had done it last year, right? But for everything that Seth's been doing, the fact that he scores 13 and it feels like he had a quiet game is hilarious to me. But what a great sign of where he's at and what he's doing now. Seth in this game, 13 points. Listen, the efficiency from this dude, 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from the 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. So in the past 2 games, he is 14 of 14 at the stripe, was 0 of 1 in the first game. So 14 of 15 for the season. Quick math, 93.3% from Seth at the stripe, you guys. But he adds to it 6 rebounds, an assist, a block, and a steal in 26 minutes. That's what I'm talking about, man. Production from everyone. Okay, I've buried one of my leads in this thing. One of the big things I was looking for. Can Carolina in this game against the team that is the second slowest in the nation, at least to this point in the season, can Carolina maintain the up-tempo pace that they've been wanting to play? Carolina, that's a stated goal of theirs. They came into this game 30th at KenPom in adjusted tempo. Let's see if KenPom has updated yet. He has. Holy smokes. The Tar Heels just jumped from 30th to 10th in the nation in adjusted tempo. Do you like that? Is wild. I was thinking this game. In fact, we were talking about it on the Locked On Tar Heels Discord earlier today. I thought that Carolina was going to be playing this game in like the 70s because of how American goes and how they're trying to slow you down. So my question was, you saw this if you listened to or watched the show today, can Carolina enforce and exert their will to go up tempo? Yeah, absolutely they can. Part of this we're watching for is fast break points. They had 18 against Elon, 17 against Kansas. In this game, they had 14 in the first half. 23 total fast break points for the game for Carolina is very impressive. I've been giving you guys the wrong mic. There we go. I switched my mic input. So hopefully it's a better audio quality for you now. 23 fast break points for Carolina. We've been tracking also the fast break percentage because Carolina is much better on the go than in half court right now at this point in the season. So the first 2 games, they had been like 20% of their points had been fast break points, and then 19. In this game, it was 21.5% of their points were fast break points. It was 32.6% at halftime when they're really getting out and going. And so that's really encouraging. They're doing what you need them to do, even against a team that doesn't want to go fast with you. Speaking of which, you know, I know the defense was kind of like, at times in the first half. We talked about how shut down it was in the second half. American, 0 transition points. So Carolina won the fast break points battle 23-0. And I'm telling you, man, that offense was humming. As bad as I said, as Americans' offense was, Carolina, 1.486 points per possession. If you don't know, again, you're trying to get to 1 point per possession. And I know 1.486 doesn't seem like that much more, but it's like every little tenth you go up is astronomical. So this is wild that Carolina got to 14 points per possession in this game. Okay, another lead I've buried. Drake Powell. This athleticism from this dude was on full display tonight more than we have ever seen it in the first little bit of the season. That had multiple blocks, 3 of them. Multiple of the blocks were impressive, but one might have been the most ridiculous athletic play I've seen in I don't know how long. If you didn't see it, which I hope you did, if not, I tweeted it out and also put it on Blue Sky, which I just joined today because it seems like everybody and their brother's leaving Twitter. What do you say? You Blue Skied it out? I messaged it out on Blue Sky. I don't know the terminology yet. But he comes chasing down, leaps over the American shooter, hurdles him, and catches the shot. It's not a pass. It's not errant. It's a shot that has a good chance to go in. And he literally hurdles the American Eagle player. Yes, that is their name. Shout out to American Eagle and their jeans that we all wore in the 2000s. And catches the ball. like, yeah, it's technically a block, but it's just like, it's almost like an interception. Unreal from Drake. And his athleticism was evident all over the court. Led the Tar Heels in rebounding in this game. 7 points, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks, and a steal. Did have 2 turnovers as well. But man, really feel like Drake was settled in for the first time in this one, which is also a good moment to remind us that both the other 2 freshmen were out of this game with lower body injuries. That's both Ian Jackson and James Brown. Per Carolina, the official designation is day-to-day. And so I really think it's just we don't need to play these guys against American. We're going to be fine. Why risk it before we go on this long flight, this week and play 3 games in 3 days, but really 4 games in like 6 days, because you got Hawaii next Friday night and then 3 games in a row, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So like, don't push it with those guys right now when there's just really no need to do so. And so that's a thing. Next thing I want to get to is the free throw line. Carolina was 13 of 16 in the first game. Great percentage, relatively low for Carolina standards. And then they blew the roof off of it against Kansas, where Carolina was, 28 of 31? I know it was 31 attempts, and I believe they made 28 because my memory is that they just missed 3. And it was like, boy, that's crazy to get to 31 free throws. I don't know if they'll do that much more. Well, then Carolina had 19 attempts in the first half of this basketball game. And they finished with 34 trips to the free throw line and impressively, yet again, made 28 of those 34, which is 82.4%, meaning that North Carolina, now as a team, let's see where they are at KenPom, shooting 85.2% from the free throw line. That's 10th in the nation. Really, really, really good. And Carolina needs to continue to make a living there, which they're doing. Like, Hubert Davis has to be pleased with how much they got there, not only at Kansas, but at home today against American, and how often they are converting, because that's is one thing to get there. It's another thing to hold up your end of the bargain. And it came from multiple guys in this game. Elliott Cadeau had 9, RJ Davis 2, like Seth Trimble 4 trips, perfect. Jalen Washington 6 of 7, Jalen Withers 3 of 3, Ty Claude 3 of 3, Drake Powell 3 of 4, Van Allen Lubin 2 of 2. So, one of the things we talked about on today's preview show was, man, it's been great to see the guards getting to the line so much, but we need more big men free throws. So they had a combined 7, 10, 13, 15. 15 from the big guys, and I think it was 14 of 15. Yeah. Jaylen Washington's 1 miss. So, man, really, really encouraging signs at the free throw line from the Tar Heels. All right. One of the, we talked about a couple things earlier. One of them was first half turnovers. Carolina had 7 first half turnovers. And this is a team that has not been turning the ball over really at all. They had one of the lowest turnover percentages in the nation. It was something like 11.2% or something like that. And those 7 in the first half, I was kind of cringing. Like, you guys, we got to value every possession more. It's not going to bite you against American, but it could next week in Hawaii, right? And so you got to do better. And so I was really, really pleased that they turned this thing around and only had just two turnovers in the second half. So much, much better all around second half. But just like we talked about with Kansas, slow start really came on in the second half. That happened here again. I got to see this team shot out of the gate like a cannon. That's what we're looking for going forward. And so got to be better there. Also, John Holbrook, we already shouted him out for his biscuit shot. How about when the walk-ons were in? Dante Mayo Jr. with the crossover step back 3, and the bench went absolutely bonkers for their dude. Was really encouraged for him to be able to see that, or for them to see him do that and to cheer him on. It's got to feel good for him. So here's what we got to do. One more ad break. We want to get to your comments, questions. There's a whole truckload of them over there. And by the way, we didn't get to talk about it much. Unfortunately, the ladies lost earlier in the night to UConn. Paige Beckers is just absolutely silly for UConn. She outscored the Tar Heels in the first half. The game ended 69-58. Good to see Maria Gokdang get back from an injury she suffered like 2 games ago and back in the starting lineup. And also India Navarre back playing for the first time this year. Still no Kayla McPherson there, and that's okay. But I mean, clearly how important it is to get Navarre back. She had 15 points in this game to lead the team. So great experience, UConn, and just at a different level. And Carolina did a great job getting that game down to a final of just being down by 11. But obviously back to the drawing board for Coach Banghart's team, who has things to work on, but now they kind of know where they're at, right? That's what you learn by playing a team like UConn. All right, so we're going to get to your comments, questions, and observations, all that coming up here in just a second. Right after I tell you about our good friends at FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel. It's America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers, you can bet $5 and get $150 back in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. We've been talking about Maui. How about some Maui odds? UConn is the favorite at +170, followed by Auburn +310, then the Tar Heels +400, and Iowa State +430. So 3 of the teams on Carolina's side of the bracket, including the Tar Heels, have 3 of the 4 top odds to win this thing, and the other side of the bracket not as heavy. If you want to get in on that action, anything else, go check it all out at FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and go make every moment more with FanDuel. It's an official sports betting partner of the NFL. All right, gang, I'm going to leave the box score up, but I am going to pull up as we continue on here all your comments, because we always get some great comments over in the thing. Lots of people asking about Ian Jackson and where he was. Obviously, we've addressed that, but in case you're tuning in late, lower body injury out for this game, just day-to-day, nothing that we are overly concerned about. Lots of people saying a lot of the things we've already hit on. A lot of people talking about going to watch the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight now. I believe that's on Netflix, right? Yes. Jonathan Fox, what's up, Jonathan? Said, and this is interesting. How about Drake the Worm Jr. Powell? Right? Isn't that Rodman's nickname? Right? I'm assuming that's why you're saying that, Jonathan. And man, that's interesting because just think about everything that Rodman does. So athletic, just able to go out there and do all the dirty stuff for his team and make a living. Like Drake's hops are absolutely insane to me. I am floored watching him play, him sky for these rebounds. Again, remember, as I said, led the team. I just think there's so much that he's going to offer, and was so pleased he was able to have a moment like this to really just start showing off that athleticism. And Drake's athleticism, by the way, is not going to just pop against American. It's going to pop against every opponent Carolina plays. And so just be on the watch out for that. Levi Watterson says, do you think this was a breakout game for Cade, or was this competition just more like what he is used to seeing? This is a very intriguing question for Levi, and the answer for me is actually both. And here's why I say that. Yes, it is more the level he'd been used to seeing at Belmont. Actually, it's lower than the level at Belmont American is. But I also think sometimes it's just a necessary thing to just kind of get a reset like this, even against lower competition, that propels you to do what you are capable of. Because here's the thing. With Cade's height, you see how beautiful and how repeatable his shot is. That works against any opponent. And he's more often than not going to have a height advantage at the 3, if that's where he's playing, or an athleticism advantage, most likely at the 4, if that's where he's playing. Although in this day and age, a lot of teams are playing guys like Cade Tyson at the 4. And so that's going to be a possibility for him. And so Levi, yes, in terms of like the team that Carolina played tonight, it is more that level, but I think it is a launching point that allows Cade to break out. Is he going to do this is he going to go 3 for 7 from 3 every game? Absolutely not. But I think what we saw tonight, is more an accurate representation of who he actually is than what we've seen in the first 2 games. I think it's just a function of getting settled in, getting comfortable and adjusted to it and doing it. For me, it's not just like him taking, or excuse me, it's not just him making, it's him taking these shots. He didn't have the confidence to do it even in the first half of this game. There was a couple times where he pump faked and I was like, hey, just shoot the ball, man. Just let it fly, let it rip. And he didn't. So I'm just so happy for him. And Jalen Washington, as we talked about as well, to really start doing this. It's the same kind of thing. It's like this is what Jaylen Washington can do. It's not just about the opponent, but the opponent does help to kind of reset and go. So that is a great thing. Oh, Nintendo Nerd. Yes, we didn't talk about points in the paint. Let me go look at the combined points in the paint here. Is that just the first half? Oh, I'm looking at the women's game. I was like, why does points in the paint say 26-16 in favor of UConn? Because I'm not looking at the right basketball game. That's why. That's silly. Here we go. Split box, points in the paint. Holy cow. Nintendo, great call. North Carolina led points in the paint 56-16. Wow. You guys, that is so crazy. And again, as we've talked about, it's not just about the bigs having to go to work inside the paint. This is about spacing, allowing guys to get to the rim, to get fouled or whatever it is. And you saw that tonight. And that's a product of all those free throws at Carolina's. It's all about that war. I think this is going to be my mantra for this team. Attack like crazy. Always, always, always. And it's so good. Multiple people saying, Nintendo says it here. And Barnes says it. Let's grab this one. EC is the most important player on the team by far. We talked about this in a show about a week or so ago, where I said, look, RJ is your MVP, although, not early in the season. And again, I think that's a good thing. It's allowing other guys to develop and blow up, because think about RJ is going to get going. You guys, he's going to regress to the mean, which in this case is not a negative. It's a positive thing. But until such time, there's a bunch of dudes. And while RJ is your MVP, Elliott is the most important player on this team. He's indispensable because of what he can do. And you saw all of it tonight. The 4 steals, the defense is there. You see it in the scoring, which he's now much more capable of, and I think because of confidence, honestly. And then the distribution, again, 8 assists and just 1 turnover. I mean, wrap that dude up in bubble wrap, because we cannot have a not Creighton Lebo, but like Creighton Blue Jays crime on Kendall Marshall type action. And that's so important. And you love how excited, like Levi Watterson says down here, I love seeing how pumped EC was just to get an assist. I forget who it was, had a massive dunk, and Elliott was jumping right beside him. Just so excited, which we didn't talk about Jaylen Withers' dunk in the first half. That was very, very vicious. And so encouraging there. I know we already pulled up one from M. Barnes, but yeah, Carrot says 90, 89, and 107 points in the first 3 games with an off RJ is crazy. Yeah, it is. It's so true. And not that RJ hasn't been scoring. He's been scoring, just inefficiently so, which detracts from the team's ability to be efficient. And so Carolina's lowest scoring output this year is 89. That's the thing. This team is going to score, and they're going to score in bunches. They started the second half on a 9-1 run. They had a 9-0 run. They had an extended 22-2 run. Carolina's going to have spurts. This team is not going to struggle offensively. Not only like tonight, 107 points. RJ's off again. Ian's sitting on this bench in street clothes, 107 points. And I know opponent factors into that. The thing for this team is not going to be about the offense. I trust the offense is going to be there. The thing about this team is the defense. Didn't really show up in the first half at Kansas very well, and there were some struggles early tonight. But man, when they lock in, you guys, it's vicious. You heard what we said, 64-21 in the second half of this game. That's what's possible. So yeah, and Barnes, you're right. It's crazy to get all these points without RJ, and tonight without Ian as well, without RJ going off anyway. But all season long, it's going to be defense. And I love that RJ keeps chucking, right? Like he's not rattled. He's a shooter and he knows he needs to keep shooting. And that's really, really encouraging to me. Lots more. Let's get maybe one, maybe two more questions. Lots of people keep asking about the guy. Oh, now we're getting into people talking about jinxing me. I don't know what that's about. Was it maybe Seth's free throws? Lots of people asking what's wrong with RJ. That's great stuff. Tony Dowd. I like this from Tony. It's amazing. You know, we talked about the scoring distribution. The same has been true season long so far. It's amazing how the rebounding is getting spread around. Coach Davis said everyone's got to rebound. And you guys, so far, that's been absolutely true. Which, by the way, Carolina, I'm assuming, won the rebounding battle. I haven't even looked at it yet. 46-23. Yeah, literally doubled up American in that statistical category. 10 offensive rebounds, 36 defensive. But man, yeah, as you look through this thing, obviously, as we said, Drake led the way, but then 3 for Elliott, 3 for RJ, 6 for Seth, 3 for JWash. Ooh, JWash, you need more. 7 for Jay Witt, 2 for Ty Claude in just 5 minutes of action, by the way, 2 for Cade Tyson, 2 for John Holbrook. The walk-ons are getting in on it. 5 for Vin Allen Lubin. The only 2 Tar Heels that didn't get a rebound were Dante Mayo Jr. and Russell Hawkins, who checked in, just in the last couple minutes of the game. So great catch there, Tony. I love that you're seeing that and pointing it out because it's got to be this over and over and over again. And that was the thing, coming into the season. Is Carolina going to be able to rebound? Oh, the weeping and gnashing of teeth. So far, they've been just fine. Again, as a reminder, out-rebounded Kansas last week. The question to me now is going to become less about rebounding and more about dominating points in the paint. Obviously did this tonight against, let's be honest, an overmatched American team, but Carolina got kind of blitzed by Kansas on points in the paint. So there it is with that. Last question. Let's take this and then we'll get out of here. I know everybody, it's Friday and it's late and I don't know. You're doing what you're doing. I got to get up early because basketball for my kids tomorrow. So there's that. Derek Thiessen. Derek, I still don't know is it Thiessen or Tyson? I want to get it right, man. Hook me up and help me out here. Derek says, do you think Drake could be a lottery pick in this coming draft? Yeah. And he's not doing anything to hurt that. Like even preseason, he was starting to get some first round love. In many mock drafts that I've seen preseason, I guess I haven't really started looking at any mock drafts since the season started, but most mock drafts I've seen, Drake is above Ian right now. And if I can be honest, I think we're seeing that borne out so far. Ian is a great basketball player and but just Drake, I think the thing for Drake is there's so much that he does. And while Ian is uber athletic and long and stuff himself, Drake's is like next level elite athleticism that doesn't just translate, as I said earlier, to American, doesn't just translate to playing other D1 high major opponents. It's going to translate at the NBA level when he gets there. His ability to jump, his ability to score, his ability to there was another blocker rebound. It was a rebound on the left side of the rim, right in front of the American bench. How high he gets is wild to me. And then just leads the break. So there's so many just different ways that Drake Powell affects winning that a game like tonight is just, it's nothing eye-popping from a box score standpoint. But if you watch the game, that's what scouts are doing, because that's what they want to see. He's got it, man. And I think he's just, this is the 3rd game of his college career. So it's only going to continue progressing from here. And so, oh, good grief. Just absolutely. Oh, here we go. Derek says it. It's pronounced like Tyson. Okay, on it. And Mike Tyson's going right now. I don't know. I don't have the TV on, but that's happening. Thank you, Derek. Now I'll never forget it. And so, look, we're going to continue to keep our eyes on stuff. Will RJ get going? The answer is yes, but we'll look more at it. Like Benjamin Tickner is asking in the comments, hey, can you do an episode talking about the discrepancy in the first half, second half performance? And he says the last couple years, I want to just kind of frame it to this year right now. And we'll probably do that maybe with Coach Pack or Coach Rob as we get into the coming week. So we'll definitely do that. And so we'll definitely look at that. Okay, tomorrow after the football game, remember Carolina playing Wake Forest, trying to get to bowl eligibility, which they will do if they win this game. If you didn't have a chance to listen to it, Denoris Cersei and I had a show today previewing the game. You can check that out to get ready for Carolina in prime time tomorrow night. So we'll be doing this again 24 hours from now. After that game wraps, we'll be live right back here for those of you who are football junkies. Congrats to the field hockey team who moved on to the second round of the field hockey NCAA tournament. Which is the Elite Eight. Lots of good stuff going on there. The women's soccer team played tonight. I don't know how they did. Does anybody know how the women's soccer team did? Would love to know that. Somebody put it in before we get out of here. So you guys, if you haven't subscribed to the show so that you're getting this all the time, and I don't want you to miss a second of the show and what's going on. So make sure you do that. Also hit that bell notification so you get notified as soon as we go live for a game and you don't want to miss a second of what's going on with the show. If you haven't joined Locked On Tar Heels Discord, we'd love to have you in that chat. It's free to join. Man, that thing just goes crazy during games, but honestly, it's going off all the time, even just randomly during the day. For those of you that have to pay attention during work, I apologize. You will not be able to. If you're not a Locked On Tar Heels insider, man, that's the way to go next level with the show here, where you get to text me directly one-on-one. You get access to all of my stats, charts, data, records books, which I'm about to go update as soon as we log off here so that all the insiders can see that. I'll shoot it out so everyone knows it's coming. You want to check in on that. As I said, I just joined Blue Sky today. It's like another Twittery kind of thing, but kind of the next thing that's coming. A bunch of people are hopping off Twitter. So come find me on there. Would love to chat with you. All right, guys, have a great night. There's some more comments. Maybe somebody, soccer team won. Thank you, Miscellaneous. Appreciate that. Okay, man, I love it. Thank you so much. That's great to know. You guys, it's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. Another week before the guys play again at Hawaii. It's technically going to be Saturday by the time they tip off. We are not doing a live postcast after that one. I apologize. It's going to be very late and I will be sleeping. We'll talk again tomorrow night, though, after the football game, hopefully with Carolina now bowl eligible. But until then, peace.